Hotepu. In this video, I wish to quickly run through some of the main features of the stars of Libra, as we are still in, at this time, May 3rd, 2015, the full moon cycle of the cat god of Libra called Meow. And we'll start by looking at the actual stars, Zubin el-Ganubi, Zubin el-Shimali in particular, Zubin el-Akrab, and also is here Brechim, but we will discuss these three stars primarily, and a few secret points inside of this constellation. So wherever you have in your chart Libra, every person has a Libra somewhere in their chart. It could be in your first house, your fifth house, your eighth house, your 12th house. Wherever that constellation overlays your particular chart, you will have the issues and the powers that I'll discuss in that house's area. So if Libra is on your fifth house, the house of creativity, children, the house of the karma that must happen in this life, the house of pride, you will have whatever I'm going to discuss about Libra in those areas. Okay? So although people say, well, they are a Libra, which is a very unprofessional statement, every person has a Libra somewhere. So the traits of Libra, whether you are that sign or not in your astrology, will show up in a particular slice of your life called a house. So we'll start with this star, Zubin el-Ganubi, and this star deals with helping out the community because it needs help. It's doing what has to be done because it needs a doing. It doesn't look for reward or applause or recompense. It says, for example, when Katrina hit New Orleans, there were many people that just gave help. They didn't care if it was self-sacrificing or cost them money. They realized these poor people need help, so let's do what I can. That is more the spirit of Zubin el-Ganubi. It is a reformer. It is someone who tries to help because it's required. It's unselfish assistance. Then we have this star, Zubin el-Shimali, which has quite a different theme. Zubin el-Shimali means what's in it for me, basically. I'll help you if you help me. This cat says, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. So it's interesting, we have here two stars in the constellation of relationships, where one light radiates the information here, Zubin el-Ganubi, of I will do what has to be done, even if I have to sacrifice from myself to make this work, to do what has to be done to make things grow. The other star, Zubin el-Shimali, says, I'm not budging until I know what's in it for me. I think that's wonderful. It's a wonderful lesson about relationships, about compromise. Compromise means I will do some things whether I want to or not because they need doing. And then there are other things I expect a reward from. That is fair and just. That's why these are the scales of justice. Being equitable and fair. The star Zubin el-Akrab deals more with leadership. And it deals with the fact that leadership or authority must be just. It must know how to rule and to guide other people, whether you are a parent authoritative figure, or you are a boss, or you are an actual president, or a king, or ruler, or whatever. That this star is in this constellation is implying, as a leader, you must always be fair, equitable, and just. You must have a divine standard against which to judge behavior and policy and such. Okay? So by staring at these stars, Zubin el-Ganubi, Zubin el-Shimali, Zubin el-Akrab, and praying into those lights, dreaming into those lights, wishing into those lights, you can pray to Zubin el-Ganubi, please radiate to me your voodoo, your magic of being a reformer, a helper, just because the situation needs my help. Regardless of what I need or what I feel, I do what has to be done. If that's hard for you, simply go into online on Google and find this constellation, maybe at Nassau link, and then pray to it. If you can't do it online and see it in the actual sky, just imagine it in your mind. I pray to you stars, you spirits of those stars, to help me to be more of an unselfish giver, knowing when I have to just simply do what has to be done. Now, if you're too much of a giver, you're a doormat, you want to pray to the star above it, Zubin Eshamali, and say, please grant me your powers, your gift waves of voodoo to help me to realize to stop giving so much without getting things in return. To not be a doormat and just keep giving, giving, giving and being drained by energetic and emotional vampires. And Zubin el Akrab, if you are a parent or a leader or someone in authority and you're being challenged with an ethical issue, you pray to the star Zubin el Akrab, grant me your power to lead with integrity, with nobility and honor. And if you pray from your heart, you'll feel something coming towards, like a light or an energy that will help you, because there are angels in these stars. There are ancestors in these stars. There are spirits riding in these lights. This is why astrology has lasted for so many millennia, because humans have always found help and wisdom and information in the granary above we call the stars. So beneath it, I have listed some of the virtues of Libra overall. It's entering into a spiritually arranged relationship, i.e. mature mate searching. We discussed that in the previous video about arranged relationships using common sense, background checks, as well as synastry astrology techniques. And that's a mature way of doing it. It's better than Cupid.com or Match.com, which is a kind of arranged marriage. It's a modern, very lame, weak version of an arranged bonding. And it helps. It helps you to narrow down the riffraff and the incompatible people. Also, the virtues are initiation into relationships, i.e. a spiritual PhD. Basically, you want to realize relationships are like any other skill, a skill that requires certification, that requires training, what we call rites of passage or initiation. So you want to really learn about relationships, not just in therapy, but actually go to school, so to speak, on relationship sciences. They exist out there. There are classes. I'll be doing a retreat soon enough on this. There are books, all kinds of things to help you. Another virtue of Libra is objectivity and not emotionality in picking and sustaining your gay partner. So you don't want to bond and hook up with someone because it's an emotional rush. Emotions are animals, blind, dumb animals. They are not to lead you. Reason must lead you. Then once you are secure in the realm of reason and due diligence, then the emotion can come in and enjoy that safe space. The vices are picking a mate out of emotionality, lust, passion, feelings, throwing interviewing, background checks, health records, financial standing, and other such common sense due diligence to the wind. Oh, love will conquer all. No, it will not. Also, the vice of Libra is codependency. You lose yourself in your partner's relationship. You can be fake in your sweetness, very passive-aggressive with your mate, very narcissistic, but you pretend like you care about the other, but you're really a narcissistic, intolerable. And again, someone fake or superficial or trifling. You are petty, and you may focus on things that are really ridiculous and not that important. Finally, over here, there's an area in the scales between here, Zubin Ishmaeli, and Brechim. If you drew a line between the two of them, and then right about where this L and G are, between this L and G here, would be an area equivalent to 26 degrees of Libra sidereal, or about 20 degrees Scorpion tropical. this area is a very tricky area. When planets are in these areas of the zodiac, they're in what's called the hot zone, the test zone, the zone of sacrifice, shown here in this Kemetic tableau of the Book of Gates. Here you have the scales of Libra right here. There they are. Here you have the judge, called your conscience, called your good DNA. Here you have your 9 bodies being judged, your 9 spirit bodies we discussed in the last video. Here we have a kind of warthog pig being beat by baboons. These baboons are your crazy ideas, and this pig is your piggish animal behaviors, particularly in relationships, your childhood issues. The baboons are about children, childish thinking. And so we're seeing here also the god Sebek, this jackal man, again the god of your crazy cockamamie ideas and issues and neuroses. So we have your neuroses beating your behaviors. So when you're in this area, any planet around 26 of the scales of Libra or sidereal, or 20 degrees of the scales of tropical, that planet is under a lot of pressure. It's being highly judged. It's being weighed and measured very intense. It's in basically a final exam, a kind of boot camp of sorts. It's being very seriously judged and evaluated. And it's a place where you have to make a sacrifice. That planet or that spirit in you must make a sacrifice in order to move on. This is the judgment scene. So you're going from 1 hour to the next in the Book of Gates. In order for you to go to the next level of the book, the next chapter, you have to pass this test. This happens right about here. Any planet right about here, or in 26 sidereal, Libra, or Scorpion 20 degrees tropical. So you have to be prepared for stress, anxiety, all the things you would experience through an exam. And in order for you to graduate to the next chapter of life, you have to beat out of yourself your fears and your failures and prove yourself justified to move on. Okay? So, that's the video. So, again, the stars are actually prayer centers where angels and spirits and voodoo gods live, and ancestors. Pray to them for their virtues. Zubna brings you the power to help just because help is needed, whether you are acknowledged or not, rewarded or not. Zubna Shamali, that light, if you pray into it, gives you the angelic voodoo, the power to not be a doormat, to expect recompense for your work. Zubna El Akrab brings you the power of being a just and fair leader, especially when you're in a crossroads of ethics. And then we have the Judgment travel zone of the scales here, which is an area where that planet must learn that it has to give up something, make a big sacrifice in order to go to the next level of graduation, to move on. So, I pray you enjoyed this quick tutorial on some of the secrets of Libra. May the stars shine bright within you. Dwawend Hotepu.